Hi, I'm Chef Lee, Executive Chef of 440 Main and Mickey's on Main.
Hi, I'm Amanda Wittick. I am the General Manager here at 440 Main.
Hello, everyone. My name is Aaron Dawkins. I'm a certified sommelier for the Court of Master Sommeliers, and I work for Republic National here in Kentucky. So welcome to Spanish Wine Night and Meat and Cheese as well with 440 Main. So tonight we've got a really exciting bunch of wines as well as some excellent cheese and charcuterie options to be paired with them. So first up, welcome, cheers. Get some of that white wine in your glass and celebrate because you get to drink some really, really great stuff tonight. We'll do a little bit of education on some history of Spain, a little bit about each wine, but mostly this is about how well these wines can pair with the meats and cheeses that are in this picnic box for you. Spanish wine is wonderful and it is good with all food, as you would imagine. So we're really lucky that we get to put these wines together. All four of these wines are going to pair with all of the cheeses and all of the meats, but we have selected some things that we think that are going to go really, really well. So first up tonight, we're going to start with the Viura, a white wine from central Spain. This is Buenas Viura. After that, we're going to go to a red blend called Los Dos, which is our Garnacha Syrah blend. Moving on from there, we'll get bigger and bolder as we go. Next up will be the Las Rocas Garnacha. And then we are finishing up with Spain's most classic red wine, Rioja. So this is the Martin Kodak's Ergo red blend. So Chef gets to play Vanna White for us, which is always fun. First up, some history about Spain. Spain is the third largest producer of wine in the world. They actually have the largest amount of land planted to vineyard in the world. So I'm just going to move us over to a little map here so you guys can see what we're talking about as we go along. Spain is a beautiful, diverse country with some of the best winemaking history in the world. The Romans brought wine culture here, and when the Romans arrived, they found that there was already a significant amount of grapes planted, and even as far back as the height of the Roman Empire, Spanish wine was valued at a higher rate than most of the wines of Italy. They really knew what they're doing in exceptional regions. Most of our wines tonight are going to be focused in this Rioja and Calatayud area, with a little bit down here in La Mancha as well. But as you can see from the map, Spain has a wealth of area planted to vine, and they make a ton of exceptional versions. So to the screen here. Okay, so first up tonight, you've got the Viura from Buenas. That is a white grape called Viura that's from central Spain, sourced in the area of Rioja, with a little bit in La Mancha. And first up tonight, we are going to pair that, or at least recommend the pairing of the Viura with the Jarlsberg. So Chef's going to talk about that a little bit.
The Jarlsberg cheese is a soft Norwegian cheese. It's cow's milk. It's got a really creamy texture, just a clean, classic, rich flavor.
So Viura is a very floral grape. A lot of big kind of citrus notes to it. It should pair very, very well with the kind of creaminess of the cheese. And again, try these cheeses and meats with all sorts of the wines. You're probably going to be pretty happy across the board with everything that you have. But that is an easy slam dunk in my mind. After you've tasted the Viura and the Jarlsberg, we're going to move on to the first of our reds for the evening, and that is the Almira Los Dos. This is a Garnacha Syrah blend from the La Mancha region of Spain. So La Mancha is a very growing, emerging region. You probably know it most famously from the story Don Quixote. But what's important about there is that it is a very fertile region that can grow literally everything. So we have a wide variety of grapes being grown there, a wide variety of styles being made. And this is also a little bit healthier region for production. So you get a little bit more quantity in addition to having really unique quality. So a lot of Spain's inexpensive, delicious entry tier wines are going to come from this region, and they really, really do a good job of putting out a high kind of quality to price ratio. So as you drink that Garnacha Syrah blend, our recommendation for the night is definitely to pair that with the young Gouda that Chef's going to talk about next.
We've got a classic Gouda from Holland. It's a semi-hard cheese milk. It's got a good flavor of sweet cream and a little bit of nuttiness, but it's got this really good aroma of sweet caramel to it.
Yeah. Gouda is one of my absolute favorites, so I'm super, super jealous that I'm not enjoying this this box of charcuterie with you as I sit in my my dining room in Louisville. But you guys are lucky. Chef, can you tell a little bit about what the charcuterie, the meats are in there tonight for him?
Yeah, I've got a nice little sampler going on in here. So we've got some just classic prosciutto up at the top. That's a dry cured ham, you know, really fatty and salty. So that'll kind of go with everything in here. In the upper right-hand corner, we've got some Genoa salami, classic cured pork sausage, seasoned with salt, garlic, and white pepper. In the bottom left-hand corner, we've got peppered salami. So this is a combination of pork and veal that has been cured and hand rolled in a really coarse black pepper. In the bottom right-hand corner, we have hot sopressata. So that's from southern Italy. That is a pork sausage, and it's got a little bit of heat to it from really good red chilies in there.
Awesome. All of these sound delicious. And again, Spanish wine is so versatile, from everything from, you know, enjoying as sangria, everything from whites, reds, rosés. They put wine with every one of their meals, as we all should. So don't be afraid to try a little bit of everything with everything. You've got a full bottle to enjoy, so I assume we're not going to let any of it go to waste. As we move on to a little bit more fuller bodied reds, we're also going to get into our kind of most notable and famous wine regions in Spain. So I'm going to bring you back to that wine map of Spain, and we'll zoom in just a little bit more. One second. So here in the Rioja, Navarra, and Campo de Borja area, this is really becoming the epicenter of fine wine in Spain. Rioja has long been known for its ability to produce really age-worthy, exceptional wines, but the areas of Ribera del Duero, Campo de Borja, Calatayud, and Navarra have all grown really, really impressively in their areas of being able to produce exceptional quality wine. So the next one we're going to go to tonight is Las Rocas Garnacha. Garnacha is where we're really going to get into more full-bodied, red, really big fruit, big juice, and jammy style of red wine. So as we enjoy that, our recommendation for the Garnacha is to jump into the Merlot finished Bellavitano, which Chef is going to tell you about.
This is by far my favorite cheese in the board right now. The Merlot Bellavitano it's a unique blend of cheddar and Parmesan, and while they're aging it, they marinate it in Merlot, so it picks up a lot of the stone fruit and plum, the jamminess of the wine. It's just really good stuff.
Yeah. Bellavitano is always a favorite, and that wine finish, you can see the purple around the edges there in your left side of the screen, and it's a wonderful wine, but it's really going to complement the two flavors together. Garnacha is a very, very full-bodied grape when grown in Spain. You may also be familiar with this grape as it's called by the name Grenache in other countries. This is the grape of Châteauneuf-du-Pape of southern Rhone. It grows really, really well in California as well as Australia. And this, especially in Spain, in this hot, arid climate, is forced to grow deep roots and really dig in order to extract as much nutrient and water out of the soil, because this is a very arid climate. What that does for the Garnacha grape is it kind of thickens the skins and makes a hardier, stronger grape. And so when you do that, this wine really takes on a whole nother level of texture, structure, and flavor than your traditional Grenaches from other parts of the world would. This vine itself is actually really, really hardy, and it can handle this temperature, and it grows healthily for a number of years. So we're starting to see more old vine Garnacha from Spain, ranging anywhere from 100 to 140-year-old vines. What those do is, at that point, the vine is not very vigorous, so it cannot grow a lot of bunches of grapes. But the grapes that it does grow on its vine become that much more concentrated and structured and full-bodied. So it takes a lot more of the actual bunches of grapes to create and fill the bottles, but the end product is that much stronger, that much denser and full of structure. Really, really exceptional wines. We're going to start to see even more from this region coming out in the next few years as it's kind of gained notoriety on the map. One of the things that I always talk about with Spain is Spain has done a little bit of its own disservice in creating the idea that all Spanish wine is cheap. Now, there is plenty of delicious, cheap Spanish wine, but the most important thing to remember about Spain is the value that you are getting for the money. When we go to this next region, Rioja, for this final wine of the night, Rioja is one of the greatest wine values in the world when you talk about how much time it spends in oak barrels and how much time it spends in the bottle aging before the wine is released. They do an excellent job with this. The wines are incredibly value driven, and what you would spend, $15, $20, $25 a bottle on in Spain, and particularly Rioja, you would spend hundreds, no exaggeration, hundreds of dollars in Napa Valley or in Bordeaux for similar quality level wine. So it really is something to explore because the wines are just excellent. So leading into that, as we get to our last wine of the night, Rioja is by far the most important and famous region of Spain. It is the collectible king of red wine in Spain. And so your last wine tonight is the Martin Kodak's Ergo Rioja. So this is 100% Tempranillo is the grape. This is from Rioja, and this is going to be paired, maybe the most classic pairing that we have tonight. This is going to be paired with the Spanish Manchego cheese.
Manchego is a dry sheep's milk cheese. I mean, it's got a little bit of pungent flavor, and it's got really smooth and buttery finish on it. I like it because of the nuttiness, and it's just really good to put a little piece on your tongue and just let it melt after you have a sip of the wine.
Aged Rioja and aged Manchego are a very, very easy home run pairing for us sommeliers. We love doing it. And Manchego is easily one of my just absolute top favorite cheeses because it's just the right amount of texture, smokiness, nuttiness. It's not quite getting to the funky, but it just pairs so well with so many different styles of wine. But the old adage of I lost the adage. Oh, what was it? What grows together goes together. Thank you. I was going to get there. These two wine and cheese pairings make a ton of sense. So as you finish into that wine, Rioja is a super interesting wine made with the grape Tempranillo. Tempranillo is a very unique red wine grape. It is the most prolific planted red grape in Spain, but it's unique in the fact that it gives you a very full-bodied wine coming from what you would traditionally call a light-skinned varietal. So all of the flavor, all of the structure, all of the texture and tannins from red wine comes from contact with the grape skins, the seeds, and the stems. It doesn't actually come from the juice inside of the grape. So why they have to age it as long as they do. They age these wines for a very long time in barrel because these wines come out very tannic, very bitter, very astringent at a young age. And so when they put these wines in barrel, which this Rioja was aged in barrel for a little over a year in the barrel and then a little over a year in the bottle, that mellows out and smooths out the tannins and makes for a better drinking experience. Gran Reserva is the highest tier of Riojas, and you can find Gran Reserva at your local wine shop or brought in by your favorite local restaurant, usually for about $50 to $60 a bottle, and that's a wine that's spent 6 to 7 years in oak barrels and another 5 to 6 years in the bottle. So when you talk about anywhere from 12 to 15-year-old wine in the $50 to $60 range, that's going to last forever and age in your wine cellar for decades, it's just an incredible value, especially when you compare it to the great wines of Bordeaux, Napa Valley, places like that. So as we go through with this is the first time that we've done this with 440 Main, so we hope you enjoy it. I'm excited to be able to participate. I know that Chef and Amanda have done an excellent job putting all this together. The wines that they have chosen are wonderful, so I know you're going to enjoy it. They've got a couple things parting for you at the end, but hopefully you enjoyed it and learned a little bit as you're eating and drinking with us. So cheers.
Thank you guys so much for participating in our first virtual wine tasting. We provided you with a survey to help us improve for the next one. So if you wouldn't care to fill this out and drop it off at 440, we'll give you $5 off of your next purchase. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Cheers.
Thanks so much, y'all. Have a great night.